Hey guys, it's me, Veralyn. So we've all heard of men on the down low, meaning guys who publicly date or get married to women, but who behind closed doors secretly carry out relationships, sexual relationships, with other men. Now, for the most part, these men are seen as gay. And some of them probably are, but you rarely see them labeled bisexual. In fact, bisexual males are almost completely missing from our public sphere. But on the other hand, being a bisexual woman is basically celebrated in our society. Do you think as a woman it's easier for you to be open and get accepted?
Yes, definitely. I noticed that a woman and a woman together is much more accepted by society, by every industry out there, than a man and a man together, which I find to be very unfair, but for whatever reason, it makes people uncomfortable.
Women can be around other women and it be huggy and say, you know, and girl puts her boob up, girl, you need to push those, and it's not a big deal. Whereas a guy, hey man, hand me those, let me tuck your ball, you know what I'm saying, let me grab your ball, hey, you need to adjust your pants, you know, we don't do that. So I think naturally women are much more, you know, naturally touchy, lovey, feely, so it's not as far-fetched mentally.
There's definitely a double standard. I mean, because if you talk to most straight men and you ask them, you know, would you date a woman who's dated other women, most of them either get super excited about it or they'll be like, yeah, you know, it's whatever, like, you know, she was experimenting, she was finding herself, etc. But when you talk to, you know, straight women and you're like, well, if, you know, the guy that you were dating had also messed with men in the past, how would you feel about it? And a lot of them are like, oh, no, he's gay. You know, there is no room for men to kind of experiment and see what they like.
The women who I know who are straight and into guys, they have a big problem with going out with a guy who is also interested in guys. And maybe part of it is because guys can be a little more promiscuous and a little more bigger risk takers when it comes to sex than women.
A lot of women are afraid of disease. And unfortunately, there is still the idea in modern society that terrible diseases like HIV are predominant in men who have homosexual relations.
You know, it really has to do with kind of having a monogamous relationship. That's what it comes down to, is like, are bisexual people capable of having monogamous relationships? Are, you know, because they can be attracted to more than one sex, you know, are they going to leave me? Am I enough? You know, am I enough as a woman to a bisexual man for him to be able to be with me and just me? And I think that's really the biggest fear, and then everything else kind of like spurts off from that.
From what I've seen, another issue is most people just don't buy that bisexual men exist. Even science has had a hard time accepting the concept of a man who is attracted to both men and women. Until a recent study proved otherwise, previous research suggested that all bisexual men were either gay or straight. So now that more of us acknowledge that male bisexuals are out there, will more of those men come up from being down low?
Will there ever come a time where a man doesn't have to do that anymore? Sure, if you tell your partner straight up what's going on with you from the beginning. Try that, you know? And if they don't want to be with you, that's up to them to decide. It's not up to you to do them dirty for whatever the length of time is. That's not fair, you know? Everyone deserves a right to make a choice.
I don't think the down low brother is going to be as particularly common. I think it'll be almost kind of the conversation we're having, like, hey, I'm bisexual. Cool with it? Not? Keep it moving. Hey, I'm bisexual. That's not me. Then okay, peace out, girl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think just because it's becoming so accepted either way, bisexual, heterosexual, homosexual, I don't. It is almost getting to the point, why would you conceal it?
If you set up the right, you know, space where it's not like judgmental, where all of a sudden you're going to bust out a Bible and smack somebody on the head and tell them that they're going to hell, you know, but if you create that space where you're very open about your sexuality, even if you're straight, you know, you're open about the type of sex that you like, you know, who you like to have sex with, the ways you like to have sex, etc., and you create that non-judgmental thing where you guys can both share what you're into, you'd be surprised about the answers that you get and how honest people would be with you.
I don't know about you, but that's what I want. To get to a place where we can all be honest about our sexuality, gay, straight, bisexual, and everything in between.